Hey, everybody. So, Destiny here is deciding to double, triple, quadruple down, literally on all of his violent rhetoric and mocking Charlie Kirk, as well as mocking Charlie Kirk's wife. This is unbelievable. She's absolutely grieving over her husband. Something Destiny will never understand. I mean, the dude's had multiple chances with multiple women, and he's even literally abandoned his kid to the point where his kid actually turned into a groiper. Yeah. He actually defends the big bad guys from World War II. And Destiny thinks he has any type of, high ground whatsoever. This is insane. Destiny, we have been telling you for literally over a decade now that your violent rhetoric pushes people further to the right. And he can't even see it with his own son, who has literally said that he was abandoned by his father and pushed all the way to the right by his father. And yet Destiny's own community will not even hold Destiny accountable for it. It's unbelievable. It's his kid. Crazy, I have 2 kids and they're never going to turn out like that because I actually take care of my kids. And yet this punk thinks he has any right to sit here and criticize Charlie Kirk, sit here and try to blame the right for all this happening, as they always do. So I want you to see this. We're going to go through all of Destiny's tweets here. And I'm going to show you guys how much of a monster this freak is. This is what he does here. This is what Kirk was tweeting out hours after the ending of Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, before we knew the shooter was right-wing. Where did we find out that he was right-wing? There is zero evidence to show he was right-wing. As a matter of fact, he was, of course, Tim Walz. This politically motivated ending of Lawmaker Husband and Creepy Mask was a Tim Walz appointee. Tim Walz appointed him to his cabinet. This was his Democratic cabinet. His name's Vance Luther Bolter. Vance Luther Bolter came out and said, Tim Walz hired me to commit this crime. Those were Vance Bolter's words, okay? And then he also said that the reason being was because they voted in favor of Trump on immigration policies. I mean, those were his words. But here's the fact. This guy has absolutely zero Republican MAGA ties. And yet Destiny's like, well, because he ended Democrats, he has to be. It's kind of like the Paul Pelosi attacker, right? But he was an illegal immigrant. Yeah, that sounds very MAGA. Huh. Then they have this mixture. Was he really an illegal immigrant? I love these fact checks because they always fact check something nobody ever claimed. Immigration officials believe David DePappy, a Canadian national, was in the U.S. illegally at the time of the attack. That's all any of us have ever said, really. They have him on a detainer, which means they have probable cause to believe he was a removable non-citizen. So he was an illegal immigrant. But what's false? There's no evidence to support that David DePappy overstayed his visa. Okay, so he just crossed the border illegally. Who cares if he had a visa or not? They're like, as Canadians don't need visas to enter the U.S. So that part's false. Great. Thanks a lot, Snopes. All because Marjorie Taylor Greene said he was an illegal alien that overstayed his visa. She ended up giving him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. But it was actually just worse than that. It's actually just genuinely worse than that. As the guy literally, this is what this says. A photo of David DePappy filming a NUDE wedding in 2013 is being falsely described as showing him recording the Jan 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol attack. See, this is the thing. People were like, this makes him right-wing. But it turned out it was false completely. He was actually just filming an NUDE wedding. That's super MAGA, isn't it? As well as, I don't know, at his house here, friends of David DePappy said he was living in a school bus parked outside of a home in Oksana, quote-unquote, Gypsy, Taub, in California. Does that sound like a place where MAGA people go? Huh. Well, let's check his flag. Yeah, this flag right here. Let me get myself out of the way. This flag right here. Yeah, that really looks like a MAGA flag, doesn't it? Isn't that crazy? Very strange. Living in this school bus. He has another poster in his window saying something about we all coexist or something like that. With, that whole thing. And we're united under whatever it is. Just incredibly, incredibly left-wing stuff. You know, typical things MAGA just has laying around that they decorate their home with, right? I'm sick and tired of this. Every single time this freak comes out due to a tragedy, not only does he encourage more violence, but then he also says, oh, it was MAGA that did it. Every time. So he says, you know, before they knew it was right-wing. Turns out both people I just showed you were left-wing. He's like, give me an effing break. Someone call me when conservatives are ready to tone down the rhetoric. So stupid, you know? Charlie Kirk tweeted out, Tim Walz has reportedly backed out. He was slated to headline the Twin Cities No Kings protest today. Total shocker that smearing a duly elected president who won an overwhelming electoral mandate as fascist or king leads to violent political radicalization. And it turns out he was 100% right. I absolutely dead on proved it, and find me anything else to disrupt it. But, or to disprove what I said. And they won't. What Destiny fans will do, you guys watch, they will come down to the comments section below, and they will just say how wrong and dumb I am. And that's going to be it. They will not give me any other evidence. And you guys can see this. Scroll on down, you'll see. This guy says, FYI, if the shooting happened in Chicago, there would be B-52s and F-35s flying overhead right now. See, he's just lying here. Then he says yes to Senator Warren for this. The one who lied about being Native American.
Right. Why don't you start with the President of the United States? Right? And every ugly meme he has posted and every ugly word.
Oh, just ugly words and memes. Oh my gosh, it's not about ugly words and memes. We're very specific. It's about calling people to violence. You know, Destiny, when you said that people deserve to get shot, whenever you keep saying MAGA needs to be eradicated, whenever you make fun of people who get shot, like the guy at the Trump supporting rally, he's like, I don't care. That guy deserved to get shot. And it's like, yeah, that's actually incitement. That's literally incitement, Destiny. We're not doing that. Only the left is doing that. And then whenever he's like, well, Donald Trump in like 2020 started calling Kamala Harris and Biden fascist. Actually, it was like 2023 or something like that. And it was like, oh, you mean 8 years after you guys have been calling us that every single day, and now we're finally tired of it. So we start using what you're doing to us, and then you go, see, they're doing it too now. Isn't that completely ridiculous? If you keep punching us in the face, eventually at some point, we're going to punch you back in the face because we're tired of getting punched in the face, Destiny. And here's the thing. Your punches don't hurt nearly as bad as ours do. That's a fact. It's unbelievable to see these people whine and cry that we're doing to them what they have been doing to us for almost a decade and a half now. Anyway, this is our first official statement from National Guard and the Un-F America Tour. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Well, that was actually a nice thing, I think, to say or something like that. The Un-F America Tour creators, organizers, and staff are disturbed by this. Okay. So he shares this out at first like he was, you know, respecting Charlie Kirk, but then that just went out the window. So he retweets this. There's one person in the country right now who has the power to lower the temperature on the violent rhetoric, vitriolic rhetoric, and that is coursing through our political veins. Rather than take the opportunity to do that like Biden did when Trump was shot at, which Biden actually really didn't, he stoked those flames and said that Trump was the enemy. MAGA was the enemy and called us fascist. Trump took to social media to make a political attack on the left while absolving his own side of responsibility. Well, when an Antifa guy goes and assassinates a guy, it's pretty anti-MAGA, you know. We don't have to take responsibility for that. All before even knowing who the shooter is. We had plenty of evidence beforehand. We told you guys the evidence beforehand. Then when the Antifa guy who literally is living with his trans boyfriend gets caught, you guys don't even walk it back. See you guys, he says, see you guys at the next shooting. Wow, that's nice, Destiny. Can't wait for conservatives to act as befuddled about that one as they are about this one. Now, here's a fact. Groypers are not celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk. So when they try to say that it was a Groyper that did it, which is so full of, you know, so garbage, they're not even supporting it. They're saying this is bad. Violent leftists are all going, yay, he did it, you know? Yeah, and, you know, they're stomping on his grave. We have people literally kicking over Charlie Kirk's graves and stuff. Like, not kicking it over. kicking over the flowers and stuff at his grave, vandalizing his grave. You don't see right-wing people doing that. Kind of weird if that was a right-winger, right? Yet, only the left is celebrating it. This guy had plenty of leftist stuff written on his bullets, just like the Minnesota. I can't believe they tried to... Destiny also, I believe, said that the Minnesota guy was right-wing. Or was that Hassan? I can't remember if it was Destiny or Hassan. The trans guy. Yeah, right-wing, you know. Anyway, I'm not going to play that 4-minute video. There's this. He's talking about the ghoul named Nancy Mace because she literally says, no, it's different with the whole, left-wing guy attacking the 2 left-wing people. But Destiny thinks it's still... He somehow still thinks it's a right-winger. That's how far gone he is. So, here's this next one. So I know we don't care about the Epstein stuff anymore, but is there at least going to be any accountability? You didn't call for the Epstein stuff for the past 4 years with Biden. Shut up. For lying to the American public about having the guy in custody. Who cares? I don't care. He got the guy. I really don't care about that. Isn't this what you guys did for 2 years with Fauci and the CDC? Let's see. Is literally just being mistaken considered a lie now? No, because Fauci and the CDC were not mistaken. They were fabricating a bunch of stuff. They even, they got rid of the whole, study of Fauci, poisoning beagles to death. Kind of weird. Yeah, that sounds very accidental, huh? Things I've learned, good guys with guns don't stop tyrannical governments, or bad guys with guns. Well, you'll find out. I doubt you'd fit in an elevator. Okay, this guy said, are you worried? You should be. Destiny's not worried. He's not going to ever leave his house again. Destiny calls out Dave Rubin. I don't care. If you zero in your rifle to infinity, then your bullets will travel to outer space, whatever. Rifle rounds don't drop at 200 yards. They ride. It doesn't. This was a dumb statement. Okay? Rifle rounds. There are many different types of rifle rounds. Many different types of different power, different grain, different size. They're not all going to act the same. But anyway, we know it was a 30-06, so it doesn't matter. It was a 308 round, a larger 308 round. Mehdi Hassan, he retweets this guy. From me, a list of Trump supporters who ended or tried to end Democrats and opponents of Trump in recent years since the right are now claiming all political violence is from the left. Receipts. Let's see here. They're going to say Melissa Hortman was a Trump supporter. That's false. I just proved that wrong. The man charged with the attempted assassination of Pennsylvania's Democratic governor, Josh Shapiro, in April was a Trump supporter. He was not. Look at all these people saying that these were Trump supporters that were not. Democratic elected officials in New Mexico, Trump supporter was not. The man who kidnapped, Nancy Pelosi, that was not. We just proved this wrong, too. I'm sick of proving these people wrong. Yeah, the guy with the gay pride flag living in a bus that came here illegally from Canada, the most right-wing country in the world. Yeah, Canada. Yeah. The pin who wanted to hang Pence, no. None of us wanted to do that. That was a Fed. That was literally with Ray Epps' crew, so no. The man who killed the son of Obama-appointed district judge, Ether Salas, in 2020, I don't know about this case at all, but I'm going to guess that's a lie. I'm not going to trust any of this. The men who were convicted trying to kidnap Governor Whitmer, that's one guy and 9 FBI agents. That they didn't even tell that that's what they were going to do. This whole case was entrapment, you freaking psychopath. At least read that. I could point y'all to Verum, oh God, what's the last name of it? Anyway, the men who sent pipe bombs to Hillary Clinton, top Democrats of 2018. No, I don't think they ever caught that guy. So how do they even know? I'm not sure about this one. I'll look into that later. There's 2 cases I got to look into on this list. Man who ended left-wing activist Heather Heyer after driving his car into a crowd of protesters. Charlottesville was a Trump supporter. No, actually, he was not a Trump supporter. He wasn't a Trump supporter at all. He was actually just a, what do you, I don't like saying the words here on YouTube because they like to take it down. He was just a Richard Spencer fan. Let's put it that way. Richard Spencer fan. You know, the guy that Trump literally, denounced. Actually. So, shut up about all that. That's completely ridiculous. You might have 2 people on this list that are valid. Maybe. And I'll have to look into that to see. So, here's Tectone. I know this is going to be a long video, guys. Destiny does make a death threat. Don't worry. The ATF has confirmed the shooter has trans ideology inscribed on his bullets. So, here we go. Trans people, too mentally ill to be effective soldiers, so banned from the military. Also, trans people, master assassins. He wasn't. The guy missed. It hit his vest and then ricocheted up into his neck. So, Destiny, you, again, don't know what you're talking about. But whatever. I guess that's just nuance to just, completely do this. How many times have they been successful, by the way, really? They haven't been very successful. Like the one that went into the church, that was a hard thing to not be successful to get people, but he didn't get many of them. He injured way more than he did end any lives. So, guess they would make pretty crappy soldiers, wouldn't they? Because a soldier wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have missed. Anyway, he says, holy F, have the engravings been verified yet? Was Abreu Garcia involved? Destiny, you know Abreu Garcia was MS-13. He's got it tattooed on his damn knuckles. What an idiot. Anyway, he says, I can't let fear dictate my life. Didn't this effing R just cancel his trip to Cuba? Oh, yeah, that's Hassan. I don't care, Then he comes here. Ashley Babbitt, Corey Comparator, and Charlie Kirk are now dead because of MAGA rhetoric coming from Donald Trump. No, they're not. You cannot blame Trump for leftist shooting MAGA people. You can't do that. What did these three people also have in common? They were all three unarmed. They were all three being peaceful. And yet, he's sitting here blaming the victims because that's what Destiny does. Just like he did with the 17-year-old that sent him nudes. That he still has on his computer that he refuses to delete. He has them because it's her fault he has them. Yeah, he's got CP on his computer right now, and it's her fault. Crazy, right? Where's, I want to get up to the threats. Let's see. This is explicit call to violence by saying that we're done dealing with violence. Yeah, that's an explicit call. I'm not even going to entertain those videos. Also, if George Floyd wasn't a hero, he wasn't. Charlie Kirk, sure as F, wasn't some legendary debater. He wasn't. The guy made a living trashing college kids. Let's be real now. Yeah, trashing kids that have a higher education than him. That's called punching up, Destiny. I know you don't know what punching up is because you only punch down. But yeah, I don't know what made artards this stupid. Well, that's a stupid statement. I'm going to use congressional authority and every influence with big tech platforms to mandate immediate ban for life of every post or commenter that belittled the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I agree with that. Inciting violence is against the law. It's against the law. You can't do that. Okay, I don't want to hear us back and forth. Citing this picture as the ultimate litmus test for whether or not someone is completely and utterly uninformed about politics. You mean the speech that Biden said that he gave where he said MAGA was the enemy and they are the greatest threat to this country? Yeah, that sounds very, very uniting. Very uniting. Then he said let's see. He was talking about people who literally denied the results of 2020 election. Well, guess what, Destiny? That's never going to happen again because we're getting rid of illegals. We're going to get rid of mail-in voting. And they won't be able to use the census anymore to have extra electoral college votes and extra congressional seats. We're going to cut that out completely. This year, he's doing a census where no illegals can take place in the census. Yeah, it's going to change California's population. It's going to shrink it a lot, which means we're going to gain all those seats. Enjoy that. You can't use illegals. Donald Trump wanted to use 1/10 of the harshness of tone he uses for Democrats in the United States when talking about effing Putin. It's unbelievable. No, it's not. Russia and Ukraine are not our countries. We need to police our citizens and make sure they're not being violent. It's more important, Destiny. I know you don't understand that, but we don't want violence in our country. Okay? Russia and Ukraine, they're a different country. They can go fight it out. I don't care. Okay? Now, Destiny, of course, literally, where's the lie?
I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn, but he's very, very strategically minded.
Destiny calling him a Satan spawn. It's ridiculous, isn't it? What's up with obsessive commenting that people still do about Joe Biden? Let's see if Destiny's deleted any of his recent tweets, because I'll pull them up in a second. Let's see. Credible and disappointed. Anyone who isn't on Team Vendetta Cycle, you know where to find me. What the heck? Well, you know what? Maybe don't give us a vendetta, You know what actually legitimizes... Oh, God. You know what actually legitimizes widespread violence? The president of the United States constantly reminding people that the 2020 election was fraudulent. It indeed was. We've proven it. They had extra electoral college votes. They had extra congressional seats because of a population that they didn't really have. That's called cheating. I don't care what else you want to call it. That is called cheating. You cannot, it's illegal. They are illegal, and yet you counted them as your census. Come on. So, anyway, let's get to Oh, yeah, this post is unavailable. I would rise from the dead and in myself if someone else was recording something like this over my open casket. Showing Charlie Kirk's, wife grieving over Charlie Kirk. That's crazy, right? And this is what he says about it. Then Tectone comes out and says their names were Charlie Kirk and Irina Zaritska. Don't let them make you forget White Lives Matter. And he says, White Lives Matter. Does that mean you're ready to support Ukraine? Wait, no, not like that. That's not even close, dude. We're worried about our country, not other people's countries. Okay? We don't police other people's countries. I know you want to be the world police and you want to get there and you want to slam everyone down, tell them what they can and can't do. We're not interested in that, Destiny. We're not authoritarians like you. So anyway, let's see. Dang, he had a secret translover. It basically confirms it. He was a right-winger. Yeah, this is just cope. This is just cope right here, Let's get to this. And then he's making fun of Charlie Kirk's wife. She tagged him. She literally tagged his account here. My husband at Charlie Kirk. It's because she wanted people to go subscribe to his Instagram account. She wants to keep that Instagram account active so people can see his posts. But that's a problem for Destiny. He sees it as like some business transaction. He's a psychopath. This is what it looks like when an administration is fabricating charges against political opponents to weaponize the legal system against them. Oh, this is... So because she has committed housing fraud. But it's okay when you do it to Trump. Yeah, those aren't double standards. You defended that all the way. Ending every conservative debate call out I do in 2026 with don't dodge, bro. That's not what Charlie would have wanted. Yeah, that don't dodge the bullet, Good one, Destiny. Encouraging more violence. As always, his last words was violence. This is his wife crying over him, but he wants to retweet it again and, just make fun of a grieving wife. That's crazy, So, where is this? You shouldn't call someone a fascist just because you don't like him. You should call someone a fascist if they are, in fact, a fascist. Need help identifying a few characteristics? This is weird because he actually follows all of these characteristics. I'm not going to read them all out. But, it's just incredibly authoritarian. But no MAGA people are fascist. It's just absolutely pure cope. Buying flags at polls just to fly them fully erect. Flags were ordered to be lowered by the President of the United States. Lower your flags. And then Destiny's like, oh yeah? Well, I know a way to disrespect Charlie Kirk even more. And 9/11 at the same time. This lady said, if your church didn't mention Charlie today, find a new church. And I agree with that. He says it's called behavior, but it's absolutely not. It's called respect. I don't care about this. This is some dude's ex-girlfriend that showed up. Now he says, we have to get Donald Trump out of the way so we can run against J.D. Vance. He's so beatable. He just gives these speeches that have this aura of authoritarianism. He would be a lot easier to beat than Donald Trump. Donald is a dementia-ridden tyrant who should be put in prison and given the death penalty. Openly calling for Trump to be killed. For his crimes against America. He has not committed any crimes against America. But J.D. Vance has something about him where people say, I don't want this crazy person running the country. I don't know what kind of crack Destiny has been smoking. But I'm sure it's the same type he's given his son. Neither did the shooter. This is what's crazy, right? It's time for Americans to defend American universities. You don't need to go to college. Charlie Kirk didn't go to college. And he goes, neither did the shooter. Yeah. Very classy. The Curious Case of Erica. Let's see this.
Every day he loved it. He loved what he did.
So this is the first out of a total 11 of fake cries.
He loved.
Okay, so they're just accusing her of fake crying. I'm sure that his wife that lost, the wife that lost her husband is just fake crying. This is some cope. This is serious cope. Serious cope. I'm beyond blown away by how hard Destiny is coping with all this. He's lost his mind. This dude needs to be put in a mental asylum. He really does. Destiny needs to be put in a mental asylum for his own good. The dude's lost. Look at this. It is indeed an absolute lie that both sides are equally violent. You're correct. It is only the left that's violent. Every piece of data we have, government, non-governmental, shows that the right is responsible for the most of political violence endings in this country in recent 8 years. Well, let's see about that. I'm curious. Let's find out. Let's see. Let's see here. Big difference. We are not the same. These are your people. Well, look at this. Do Matt Walsh next. Chaya Ratchik next. Trump next. Now get Matt Walsh. Trump next, please. Trump next, please. Let's make sure we succeed this time. Do Matt Walsh next. Trump next. Oh my God. Do Trump next. Nice. Do Matt Walsh next. Do Trump next. Charlie Kirk is dead and has been for a few hours. Trump next, please. Matt Walsh next. Charlie Kirk is dead. Yay. One less misogynistic POS on the planet. Do Trump next. Not sorry. Trump next. Asking for many people have. Yeah, this sounds like, definitely for sure. But hey, how about we get a little more specific, huh? Let's see. Where's the one that where is it? The one that I shared. Donald Trump. Wait a minute. Is this just what I've retweeted here? Hold on. Maybe it's under replies. Let's see. Where is the nuance here? Speaking of gaslighting. Okay, it's not that. Oh, yeah. This guy. Speaking of gaslighting and hypocrisy, make sure you include the video of you guys. Yeah. This guy literally is comparing every non-Muslim in the world to cattle, and he's raging against gays. The one that Destiny just retweeted. I'll find that one. I think that's right down here. Oh, this guy. Yeah, right here. Talking about, like, I plan to post this ABC News supercut of Trump calling Harris and Democrats fascist and communist, way after. This is 2024 when he started doing that. So literally 9 years of them calling us fascist, and then we start doing it, and now it's literally us, So I said, who effing started it first, Biden, Harris, or Trump? It's completely ridiculous. Now, where is it? Where they started counting these guys as white? Let's see, 14 hours ago. Where is it that they made the arrests? And I think it was the quartering that shared it, too. Maybe I'll see this. Let's see. It'll probably be... here it is. 2 men arrested for placing a BOMB on Fox 13 media vehicle in Salt Lake City, Utah. Adib Nasir, 58, and Adil Justice Ahmed Nasir, 31, have been reportedly arrested. Now, what's weird about this is... Where's it at? Let's see here. They were booked as white. I'm not kidding. Adib and Adil are white. Where did he see this at, though, specifically? Let's see. Adil were arrested. I want to see the booking. But the fact that would even happen. Based on our marked vehicle. I want to see it. They probably have it here. White. Here it is. Okay. Zoab Muhammad and Linzer Ahmad. Okay, these are different people. White. All these people have been charged. A lot of these people are charged as white in these areas. Is this, wait a minute. Texas Department of Public Safety. Okay, Texas Department of Public Safety here, website up here. They're literally counting a lot of these people as white. And they probably count them as right-wing as well. So when I see stuff like that, who do you think? How do you think I'm going to trust the stats where you're like, oh, well, the stats, well, guess what? I can watch what happens. I watched what happened to our cities whenever they burned them down for George Floyd. I watched what happened in Portland whenever they were firebombing police stations and churches and other things. I watched what happened when they firebombed the White House grounds and burned down the church. I saw that stuff go down. It's unbelievable. Absolutely ridiculous that they would even suggest such a stupid thing, but they don't care because they know how violent they are. What happened with the Chaz Chop, that whole area? How many people died in that? Because they mistook white people black people that had too light of skin and shot 2 of them. Because they were in a black-only zone. Yeah, crazy how that goes down. What happened to the guy that was wearing the MAGA hat in Portland? Oh yeah, assassinated. Crazy how Biden-Harris people are not in fear of their lives at all. Why do you think that is? So disgusting, Destiny's such a disgusting piece of garbage, So look at this. She was banned because she was celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk on Twitch. Here's the proof. And then this person says, real patriots, me, wear the American flag while exercising their right to freedom of speech. Yeah, because inciting violence is freedom of speech, huh? Then she says, not caring about MAGA influencer dying to the guns he always advocated for. Yeah, because it was the gun that did it. It wasn't the shooter. It was the gun. The gun walked up to that roof, placed itself there, and did what it did. It wasn't the trans person who is mentally ill. Or the trans-supporting mentally ill freak. Are you kidding me? These people absolutely will put responsibility on anything else, even inanimate objects, if it means that they can get out of any type of responsibility for what they have caused. It's so disgusting. But not caring about MAGA influencers dying to guns, that's so disgusting. When have we said this about the left? It's crazy. Everyone knows who's lying at this point. There is literally no support for the Democrats anymore. And they keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I'm sick and tired of it. I think Destiny needs to be arrested for inciting violence. I think he does need to be arrested for mocking the assassinations of people. I really do. I think he belongs in an actual insane asylum. He is inciting Americans to go and commit crimes against Americans. You can barely call them Americans because they hate America, but I guess they're technically citizens. But the fact of the matter is he is encouraging it through and through. Calling for the death penalty to Trump. Mocking every single MAGA person who is assassinated. He has been assassinated. He has mocked. When has it happened? When have MAGA people mocked left-wing people for being assassinated by MAGA? It has never happened. Not once. Go ahead and point to anybody else who is assassinated by MAGA. I'll gladly debunk you, Destiny. You know you're lying. You absolutely know for a fact you are lying about the type of people here who would do such a thing. They were left-wing, and we have all the proof for it. You've got nothing other than nuance and made-up garbage. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Let's push this. Let's get Destiny a taste of his own medicine here. I think he deserves a nice padded cell. Thank you all again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.